Hey there guys, how are you? Let me spin around one more time. Okay, there we go. Welcome to a brand new Q&A Ask Anything video where I answer anything and everything that you guys asked, this time on Snapchat with videos. I like video Snapchat questions because I can look at you, I don't have to read them, and it's a little bit more personable. It's like you're here, I'm watching you, I'm looking into your eyes, and you're talking to me. So yeah, without further ado, I will shut up and dive into your questions.
Huge fan. Just want to know, what are your
Thanks.
thoughts on the Justice League and Avengers Infinity War footage from Comic-Con?
The Justice League. Okay, let's talk about the Justice League trailer. I was actually going to make a dedicated video for this, but then I came to the conclusion I just don't feel like it. Okay, so the trailer, here's the thing about the new Justice League trailer. I'm aware of how they make big budget movies nowadays, and 90% of those movies are shot in front of green screens. But when I watch the Justice League trailer, it just looks like everybody is standing in front of a green screen. Especially that one shot with Aquaman, Jason Momoa. He's flying down from the building and he slides like he almost surfs into the street. It just looks like he's dangling on wires in front of a green screen. And then that entire portion of the movie, there's some kind of disaster or some kind of big epidemic going on because Steppenwolf invades Earth and everything's red. And it almost looks like just a filter. It looks like a filter I could add to this video right now. Boom. I can't snap my fingers. You get the point. But it looks like a filter like I have right now. It doesn't sell me on what's happening in the movie. But there are a lot of things about the trailer I like. I like some of the humor, especially with Barry Allen, The Flash. J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon looks really good to me. But there's just something about that trailer that looks slightly off to me. It just looks like everything was shot in front of a green screen. As far as the Avengers trailer, yeah, I seen a leaked version of that. It was like at an angle like this, and I couldn't even tell what the hell was happening, so I watched 10 seconds of it and turned it off. So I'll wait till the actual HD version pops up online, but I can't wait to check it out.
Hey, John. Love your reviews. My question is, what's a really great psychological thriller that I need to watch?
A great psychological thriller that you need to watch. I'm gonna go with American Psycho, Fight Club, Silence of the Lambs, and yeah, I'll go with those three off the top of my head.
My question is, how much can you bench, deadlift, and squat?
Oh man, all right. How much can I bench? I think the most I ever benched was 315 or 325. I'll just say 315 because it's the lower number. The most I ever squatted was, I don't know, somewhere in the threes. And as far as deadlifting goes, even if you do deadlifting perfectly 99% of the time, that 1% where you screw up or you're not paying attention, or you just churn a little bit differently, your lower back is going to go bye-bye, and it's going to be flushed down the toilet. So I like my lower spinal cord too much to do deadlifting. And plus there's 10 other exercises you can do to get the same results from deadlifting. That's just my personal opinion.
Do you think Ben Affleck is going to be in The Batman by Matt Reeves? Because the way it's going now, I don't think so.
Well, as far as Ben Affleck goes, that was the entire point of casting Ben Affleck. They wanted an older veteran Batman who was grizzled and been through battle, and he's been through everything for the last 20 years in Gotham, and he's tired of the shit. So as far as having Ben Affleck around, he's only in his late 40s, I believe, for 3 more movies. That's what I personally want. As far as director Matt Reeves, I'm not quite sure if that's what he wants. I think he said he did still want Ben Affleck. The biggest question is, does Ben Affleck still want to stick around? Because I think he knows that with Batman v Superman and then the Justice League, he knows Warner Brothers got lucky with Wonder Woman, but I think he's afraid that it's going to ruin his career to stick around as Batman. I think that's his biggest fear. So I'm not quite sure. I think he will stick around. If they do recast Batman after Justice League and they have a new Batman for the Matt Reeves trilogy of Batman movies, that's going to be a letdown. So you're telling me we had Ben Affleck for 2 movies and then now he's gone as Batman? Now we have to recast somebody else? No, I don't want that. I want Ben Affleck as Batman.
Hey, what's up, John? I have a question. If you were able to make a movie, what type of movie would you make? What would be the story?
I'd probably... Oh.
Hey, what's up, John? I have were able to...
Okay, it keeps replaying. All right, so I would probably go with, I've said this once, I'll say it again. I would probably, give me 1 second, and I will show you the type of movie I would make. This is me. This is a poster I made in college. And the movie's called Thief. It's coming out. It's breaking in 2008. So look out for that. But yeah, that's the type of movie I would make. I would make a heist movie, but I would also make it with a comedic edge to it, and I would make it with a comedy style of something along the lines of Kick-Ass. So imagine a heist movie meets Kick-Ass. And you sort of already got that movie. It's called Baby Driver. But my movie, I think it would be better. So it would be a little more heist related. So yeah, that's the type of movie I would make.
Do you think the new Justice League trailer looks too CGI, kind of like watching a Star Wars prequel?
That's funny. We just talked about that, and that was my biggest complaint. Yes, I do think it looks very CGI. It looks like there's not a lot of substance, and that could just be from the trailer. But I think Joss Whedon getting his hands on the movie, I am thankful for that. In many ways, I am thankful for that. And they are doing a lot of reshoots, very expensive reshoots of that movie. And every movie does reshoots. That's nothing new. But I think they're definitely trying to make it feel more like a Marvel film. Because they understand that's what people want to see, not me necessarily. I like the darker, edgier shit, but they look at movies like Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman in many ways was very Marvel-esque. So I think they're trying to go for that same tone with the Justice League, and that's why they're doing so many reshoots.
Hey John, fuck, marry, kill, the T-1000, Bane, or Darth Vader?
What the fuck was that?
How did you figure out that reviewing movies and making YouTube videos with the community is what you wanted to do with your future?
I don't know. I'm going to scoot up to answer your question, though. I think one day it was a hobby that turned into a career, and I thought to myself, I would rather do this than work in a cubicle at a dead-end job, looking out the window every day, thinking to myself, today is the worst day of my life. And then every day I was there, I thought that same thing. So every day became the worst day of my life. And I like making YouTube videos. I get to do whatever I want to do. I get to be creative. And so I think the day that I realized I could make videos and pay my electricity bill, something clicked in my head where I was like, I will do this from now on.
Hey, John. I was just wondering, who do you think would win in a fight? A Terminator or Robocop? Love your reviews, man.
That's an easy one, okay? You have Robocop. Freeze, scumbag! My name's Murphy! And then you have the T-800 who's just gonna come by with a minigun and blow his fucking head off. Robocop would take, for him to walk down a hallway takes about 25 minutes. He's a little bit too slow.
What movie can you watch over and over again without getting tired of it?
A lot of movies. There's a lot of movies I can watch over and over again that most people would never want to watch more than twice. But one of them is Shawshank Redemption. I've seen that movie probably 30 times, maybe 40 times. I'm not exaggerating. I don't know why. I just don't get tired of that movie. Another film is Stand By Me. I never get tired of watching that film. It always gives me what I want emotionally. And sometimes I watch it when I'm feeling a little bit down and out. And it reminds me of life and a better time. Another movie is Nightcrawler. I probably watched the movie Nightcrawler 20 times since it's come out. Batman Begins. I think I've seen that movie more than any other film. The Dark Knight never gets old. Though I will say I probably need to give myself a little break from that film. What's another movie? T2. I can watch that over and over. Point Break. I can watch that over and over. A lot of movies don't get old to me. And really, when it comes down to it, I have this massive movie collection, but I only watch 20 movies out of that collection. So those are the movies I could watch over and over again.
Johnny boy, what is your favorite episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Johnny boy.
Oh, Eric, my good friend Eric Striffler, everyone. I like how your Snapchats are so pretentious, Eric. They're always shot in black and white. You're so artsy. I love it. Favorite episode. I don't recall the details of this episode. But there was an episode. Gosh, I recall nothing about it. It was the episode that came on the Nickelodeon VHS tape. It was an orange VHS tape, and it had a whole bunch of other shows on it. And then the one episode was a girl was in this house out in the woods, and then the neighbor's house, there was an old lady, and that's all I remember. I don't really, that was not very specific at all, was it? I am sorry. I guess I don't remember many episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? I remember the overall concept of the show. I miss it. I feel like watching an episode right now. Hang on.
To tell the one true version.
That's some scary shit. How did they get away with it? Like, that scares me now.
Hey, John. I was just wondering, what's your favorite scary movie of, like, the last 5 years?
I think mine's The Void.
The Void, okay. I would go with 5 years. I'm going to go with The Conjuring. The Conjuring was scary. It was well made. It was competent. I was able to watch it more than once. Yeah, I'm going to go with The Conjuring. Actually, I might go with Insidious. Was Insidious 5 years? I think it was 2010, right? I'm okay. The Conjuring and Insidious are probably my two favorite horror films of the last, 7 years. So we'll go with those.
Hey, John, what did you think of the Thor Ragnarok trailer?
Thank God everyone's asking me these questions, so I didn't have to make dedicated separate videos for them. Because this is so much easier. Can I take a drink of my diet Coca-Cola I got at McDonald's 5 hours ago? It's so delicious. McDonald's has the best Coca-Cola. And you want to know why? It's because what they do is they calibrate their machines perfectly because the temperature and everything's completely accurate and calibrated the way Coca-Cola wants it to be. That way you get the best tasting soda every single time. Other restaurants don't do that. But anyway, back to your question. The Thor Ragnarok trailer. I like it. I've heard that the movie is going to be an hour and 40 minutes long, so it's going to be quick, to the point. It's kind of looks like a buddy team-up movie. And plus, when you have Hulk, you have the character the Hulk in it, which he's one of my favorite characters.
Hey, John, what would be worse for you? Not to watch any movies for a whole year, or not to work out for a whole year?
Speaking of working out, look. I don't eat enough. That's why I'm shrinking, but I call it cutting. Not watching. If I didn't watch any movies for a year, that would definitely hinder the YouTube side of things. But not working out for a year, I would shrink up and look like an alien addicted to heroin. So it's a double-edged sword either way. I don't know. Like, watching movies is very therapeutic for me. It's like my version of going to church. It's cathartic. But not working out, that also is cathartic. That's how I release the anger, the rage, the tension, and it all explodes right there on the gym floor. I don't know. That was a hard question, man. That was a great question. Now I'm thinking about it. I might have to. Can I watch TV shows? Because if I can't watch movies and I can watch TV shows, then I could, and also I could still talk about movies I've already seen on YouTube. I don't know. I would probably have to work out. I'm sorry. I need to work out. Because let's be honest, most of the movies today aren't that great. I mean, there's only really like 2 good movies that come out a year. So I'm only really giving up 2 really good movies that year. I might skip the movies because I can always watch the movies after that year, but I can keep up some of the gains so I don't look weird and skinny. So yeah, I'm gonna skip the movies for 1 year. That's a scary thought.
How did you and Brittany meet?
Oh, how did me and Brittany meet? I thought you asked how I eat meat, and I was gonna describe the process of eating. Well, we actually met on we met on Tinder, technically. But then we actually met in person at the gym. So, yeah, that's how we met.
Hey, I was just wondering, it's been news running around about a Breakfast Club remake, and I was just wondering, who would you cast in the Breakfast Club? I would definitely let it star Tom Holland. Hey.
If you made a Breakfast Club remake, it just wouldn't work. And here's why. Because now, if you had all these kids sitting around in detention or in Saturday school, what would happen would be they'd all be sitting around on their phones like this. No one would look up. No one would give a shit. They'd all be on Facebook. And if they talked, they'd actually be messaging each other via text message with stupid little emojis. Because in the 1980s, kids didn't have that technology. They actually had to look at each other and talk and communicate. So, yeah, if you make a Breakfast Club remake, it should just be kids looking at their iPhones for 2 hours. And that would be realistic. I don't want to see a remake of The Breakfast Club. There's something about that nostalgia of the 1980s where you have Emilio Estevez, and he's dancing, and he goes in a room covered in glass, and he screams so loud that he shatters the glass. You can't remake that.
Yo, Johnny boy, what's the weirdest dream you've ever had?
I've had a. By the way, I got my hair cut today, and they didn't look at that. They didn't even blend that. I'm gonna go with the weirdest dream I ever had was I remember this was probably like 6 or 7 years ago. I had a dream where I was in a very large field, and it was the sun had just set. It was kind of like a purple hue in the sky, and there's this large field, and there's thousands of vehicles parked in this field. And up in the sky were these large alien spacecrafts. And I remember looking at one spacecraft, and the bottom opened up, and a very bright blue beam, shot down at the ground. And then all of a sudden, you see this big fiery wave, and I start running. I start running the opposite direction. I run through these woods, and then I jump into a river. And as soon as I jump into this river, a big flame engulfs everything. And I'm down, probably 10 feet down into the water, and I'm holding my breath. And I'm looking up at the surface of the water, and there's this huge fiery flame. And I know if I swim to the top to get another breath of oxygen, I'm going to die. And I remember not being able to hold my breath anymore and swimming towards the top and just being incinerated. What does that mean? I'm not quite sure.
Hey, John, I want to know what superhero movies you're most excited for in the upcoming years. You like jazz?
I'll answer both those. Jazz is soothing, but only when you're riding in an elevator. As far as superhero movies, I'm feeling comic book fatigue. I'm to the point where everything is the same. I am numb from the waist down. I want quality movies with substance. And comic book movies, I think, have hit their peak, and I need a break. But I will go see every single one of them. But as far as comic book movies go, I just... Is anyone else tired? I feel tired. It's just like, I'll just go back and watch The Dark Knight over and over and over again, because that's what I want, but you'll never give me that again.
Hey, John. I like to think my biceps are decently sized at 16 and a half. What size are yours?
Yours are 16 and a half, huh? I'm not quite sure what mine are. Would you like me to measure? Let's measure. That sounds weird. Hang on. Okay, let's do this. Let's see. Are we measuring flexed? Because that's how you're supposed to measure. Flexed. Okay. This is no pump either. If I had a pump, it'd be about 1 inch bigger. All right. So let's put the measuring tape on there. Okay, so hang on, it's tight. All right. Just over 16 and a half. So, yeah, right there. That's how big my biceps are. How big is my head?
What the fuck is your favorite music genre and why? Memes.
Well, my favorite music genre, and I'm going to tell you why. I like metal music. I like epic music. Epic music always does it for me, but I've been listening to a lot of weird stuff lately, especially synth music from the 1980s, like this. I like stuff like that. And the reason I was listening to so much 80s synth music lately is because I was actually trying to find a new theme song for my videos. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this Q&A Ask Anything. As always, ask anything and everything down below. I will take some text comments or leave your thoughts and your opinions down below. And one quick thing before I go, check out the new Flick Pick t-shirt. It has popcorn, has explosions. And that's my best impression of Patrick Bateman. And by the way, if you guys ever do pick one of these up, please on Twitter, send me a picture of yourself wearing it and include your YouTube channel, your name, and I will retweet that instantaneously as a thank you to you guys because it's the least I can do. So if you guys want to check out these t-shirts, have a closer look, you can buy them in any color along with all of my other t-shirt designs. I'll put the links down below to TeePublic and Redbubble. But yeah, this is the newest one, and I like it. I like the design, feels good, and this is a nice textured blend. Feels sexy. Yeah, so as always, guys, thanks for watching. And actually, tomorrow morning, just in a few hours from now, I'm going to have a brand new video where I do a very special sneak peek at some upcoming Justice League Batman toys. So look out for that. I'll see you guys next time.